I'm Phil Barletta. I am the Director of Operations of the NNF, which is short for the NC State Nanofabrication Facility. The NNF is a clean room. It's a shared clean room at NC State. And the reason why facilities like this exist on NC State is that the equipment we have is very general purpose, but it's very expensive. We have things like metal evaporators and mask aligners and plasma etch tools. And a lot of different professors, a lot of different projects can benefit from having these tools. We have one centralized location on campus in order to do that, and that is the NNF. That's our facility. But what is important is that myself and my staff, what our job is, what it comes down to is to go ahead and help the students, train the students to use these tools, and also to maintain the tools, making sure they're working at a high level, and really doing what we can to help the PIs and expand the capabilities of the university as a whole. I think the greatest thing about working in NNF is that we work with such a wide range of different faculty and researchers across the campus. So we're also working with different industrial partners. We have large industrial companies who come in here to use our facilities, and also small businesses and medium-sized businesses that come in here to do their work. That's an exciting part of the job, but it's also a big challenge. Myself and my staff, we cannot be experts on every field. So when someone comes in with a specific project, maybe something we don't know a lot about, and it's challenging for us to try to help them to do it. But with that challenge is also the opportunity, right? It gives us the opportunity to go ahead and learn how to do this new research field. I just be able to see the breadth of projects, sort of brain power that's going on at this university is really inspiring. I think that's what I like the best. Right now we're working on developing some capabilities for gallium nitride and indium gallium nitride, a new set of materials, and these we use a lot in optoelectronics, so things like lasers. And LEDs use a lot of nitride materials, and being able to go ahead and build that capability up from the sort of baseline that we have now to something that's going to be more state-of-the-art, something we're putting a lot of time and effort in and really looking forward to. As the human knowledge base expands, I want NNF to be able to keep up with that. We're only going to be working with these basic tools for so long. We need to go ahead and expand up the capabilities, going, for example, smaller and smaller. We specialize in here in NNF is photolithography. Photolithography means writing with light, and basically the way I think of it is almost like a high-tech stencil. What we do is we'll take a wafer, we'll take whatever material that you want to pattern, and we'll put a polymer down on it. This would be some sort of a light-sensitive polymer, and we would use a tool such as the stepper to go ahead and expose certain regions of that wafer with the polymer on it, expose certain regions of that polymer so they can be washed away, developed away, similar to like you do with a photograph. And by doing this, we're able to make patterns, nanometer-sized patterns into a wafer. And to get a feel for the type of size range we work with, when I talk about a nanometer or nanotechnology and all that sort of thing, a nanometer is what your fingernail grows in 1 second. So stop to think about that. And when I say things like this tool that could go down to 400, 500 nanometers, we're talking about well below microscopic range. But this is the type of size range you need to work with in today's type of devices. Another thing we specialize here at NNF is metallization. And metallization is important because you need to make contacts to your semiconductor device. In order to connect your semiconductor device to the outside world, you need to have some sort of metal, because metal is a great electrical conductor. The challenge is, how do you do that on a nanometer scale? And doing through metal evaporation is one way to do it. And when I talk about metal evaporation, it's similar to when you would say, for example, you evaporate water, boiling pot of pasta or something like that. We are literally heating up the metal to the point that it's going from liquid into a gaseous state and redepositing on your substrate. And by doing it in that sense, we have the equipment and the tools to do that very cleanly, and also with a high degree of precision. Another thing we do a lot here in NNF is a lot of deposition, whether it be physical vapor deposition, such as the metal evaporator I told you about, or chemical vapor deposition, where we actually flow chemicals under high temperature into a reactor in order to form the positive films that you need. One of the techniques we use is atomic layer deposition. What atomic layer deposition is exactly what it sounds like. It is putting one atomic layer of material down at a time. And you can imagine this being something like 40, 50 nanometer type films can be done with this ALD tool. And what this does is it gives you very, very formal, very, very well controlled depositions. And we have students here, right here, who we work with on a regular basis in order to get their depositions to work out right. I also, in my role as the Director of Operations, I actually get to serve on student committees as well, for the graduate student committees for their PhD and master's dissertation. So if this is something you want to work on, you may be able to work with me a lot. I help you get your devices working the way you want to and help you in your defense as well. One of the things you're going to notice about this room is if you look in here, it has a distinctive yellow tint to it. This is what's called a yellow room, and in a room like this, the light you work in is completely yellow. Similar to when you work in a dark room with photography, you are going to be working with in a yellow room with yellow light for doing photolithography. The reason being is the photosensitive polymers, they are only sensitive to short wavelengths of light, things like blues and greens. Once you get into yellow, they're not active in that range, so we're able to do what we want and create the shapes that we want to and the patterns that we want to on our wafers. One of the nice things about working in NF is we're part of the RTNN, which is the Research Triangle Nanotechnology Network. What the Research Triangle Nanotechnology Network is it's a site funded by NSF. And NSF has gone around the country and identified 14 different spots where there's geographical locations where nanotechnology is focused on. And basically what they do is they get different groups together, and in our case it's 3 universities, it's NC State, UNC, and Duke, to work together and sort of expand the ability of folks to get to nanotechnology and basically lower the barriers that people have to nanotechnology. So we do things like go around to K-12 schools and teach younger students about nanotechnology, or we go to community colleges and help them to expand their curricula to include things with nanotechnology. One of the nice things about it, like I said, is in this area we talk a lot about NC State and UNC and Duke. We have our rivalries as universities and as sports teams and whatnot, but it's nice when we could get in a situation like this where we can work together. Because we work together, it's no coincidence how we pick the colors on our logo. And it's also no coincidence which one's on top. Just to see all the different research projects that we have here at the university, you'll get to touch on students from all over the university, professors from all over the university, all the different types of research. And it really is exciting to go ahead and be able to expand your horizons that way.